My Gavan and Melanine, and well met indeed. I'm Arachir Galadirthan, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to the same as we continue on as Angmar. Now, I hear you all cry, but Galu, we did a poll. And yes, we did, but as some bright spark pointed out, and apologies, I forget the name, it would be wise to poll on this episode because there'll be some people that only watch Angmar, some that only watch Canned, etc. And it would be wrong to prejudice those who didn't watch the Canned one to miss our vote on something they do watch. So, to round out the polling then, there will be a poll in this video. If you are unfamiliar, we are deciding whether or not Angmar should end as well as Canned. So Canned has now ended and will be replaced with the High Elves of Imladris and Linden. And the question though is, should Angmar end as well? So I've taken the three top choices from the poll that was on the Canned video, and you now get to cast your final verdict. Your choices are: no, Angmar should not end. It should continue. Your second choice is yes, it should end, and Dorwinion should replace it. Let me just show you what they all look like. Dorwinion should replace it. So down here, Karasant Santanui, fighting against Rune, potentially Dale, Dol Guldur, Mordor, and potentially Erebor. Or the third and final choice, because it gets asked all the time and I finally caved in because sometimes I'm a nice guy, is Isengard. So those are your three choices: Angmar to continue, Isengard to replace Angmar, or Dorwinion to replace Angmar. Those are your choices. I have not done them as a YouTube poll because my last YouTube poll taught me that not everyone can actually see YouTube polls. And my guess is that it's to do with if you have any sort of ad blocking software, because I actually couldn't see the YouTube poll when I watched it back on my own computer. Yes. But I could see it when I watched it on mobile, which doesn't have any ad-blocking software. So I think it's something to do with that. So instead, it is a straw poll. It's linked in the description. This time everyone will see it. You can go and you can cast your vote. I will just do a first past the post system. Whichever wins, wins. So you vote as you actually mean to go on. I'm not going to tell you what I would vote for because, as has also been pointed out to me, a lot of you will just vote with whatever I say, and I know there's argument to suggest I should because you like to see me play what I want to play, but rest assured I would happily choose any of the three options, so you vote entirely on your own. What do you want to see? But curling us back to Angmar, the actual plan, and if indeed this continues, is as follows. This army, Badwila the Chivalrous, will shortly take Ostsul and defeat a large section of the Breelanders' forces that are roaming around the eastern part here. He will then push in and take Bree itself, at which point I expect very little resistance. I mean, I know it's cheating, but let's actually just look at it. Because, as you can see, Dunland have carved up the entire southern side, and we are now in a rush to get to Bree. Ostsul is the most easterly province of Bree, in terms of province. The most easterly settlement is Tirthuin, and Keloniak to the south there. But Keloniak has managed to hold, but it won't for long, especially if I take Bree before Dunland get there, because then Dunland will almost certainly break east to take Keloniak, as it's closest to the Tharbad crossing. They also, of course, have Cor Willishar to fight, and Sackville and Deep Hallow, but this is a sort of a clock, a twisting clock, if you will, because Dunland, if we can find Dunland, are also... Oh, there they are. Currently at war with Linden. So Linden are currently eating into Dunland, and as I am sure you are aware, Linden will decimate Dunland and absolutely annihilate them. So we're in a bit of a bind. Midland has been reclaimed from the Ardenaim, who now just have some ships knocking around. So Midland are quite a power, to be honest. The dwarves, though, don't actually hold all that much. If we can take back Athelin, or break the siege of Athelin, take back Gobadrine, and then also manage to get Fornost and Bari Donionak, we've pushed them into just a small, narrow corridor between Barketa and Fuerost. Now, they might come through Oskalon, but it's just an annoying, boring slog against the dwarves, which is one of the reasons why Angmar ending is an option. Because for all of our success in the south, we are going to be fighting countless battles against the dwarves in an almost grind-like festival. A festival of grind, if you will, and don't search that on the internet. But we don't really want to continue with said grind. I should end the turn as well because we are ending the turn. So those are our options. That's where we are. That's what's going to happen. In terms of the question I've also seen a lot on a lot of the videos, when will version 4 release, Gallo? And that's not necessarily the name of it, but it probably will be version 4. And the answer is 7, as ever. So stop asking, basically. Now here we go, let's test the Witch King. Ah, yes, successful. And the battle for Athelin is won without even having to throw real troops at it. But the Dwarven force comes, one of their bigger forces at the moment. Of course, once we crush that, then another one will come through, and then crush that, and then another one. Ad infinitum. But we do what we can. I was a little boosted today, total tangent, complete different way, but coming up shortly is the change of the month, and the next month is going to be the first time I do a lore video that I've actually written a script for. I might also consider chucking in a few more pictures now that I'm actually getting into a rhythm of doing the lore videos. What is an extra sort of hour a month in order to give the YouTube one just a little bit more to look at? So I might throw in a few more pictures. I mean, it's not going to be like one every 30 seconds or something like that. It'll probably be like 4 pictures throughout the video. But so this coming up will be a lore video with a script, which I'm interested to do. I'm very interested to do. I'm quite keen on this idea. And but in a Reddit post today on one of the Lord of the Rings subreddits, someone asked, are there any good lore channels out there? And I was very lifted to see that 3 different people commented and suggested that I am one of said channels to watch. And I was really happy with that. That lifted me greatly. Because sometimes they're a little disillusioned with the lore videos. Obviously, you make one mistake and you get hounded, and then I'm forever trying to claim to get some sort of nod from fellow Tolkienists that actually I'm not doing too bad a job. But you shouldn't seek approval from others, I know. It's terrible. And nothing good comes from hubris, but it's nice every now and then to get a nod from someone who knows as much and says, yeah, I think he actually presents the information in an interesting way, is all I'm hoping for. It's just that minor measly comment. Now, this army here, led by their current council master, is our only real threat. It is made up almost entirely of trash, but there's a lot of them, and it has the potential to really batten down our numbers. Now, our army is actually really very good and will definitely defeat anything Bree has to offer. But, so I'm hoping that Del and this fellow here, Wally, come at us as one. And then they will take up against Willy. And so Wally, Willy and Del will try and hopefully kill all 3 of them. And then Perry might then make it just a little bit too late so we can then regroup and hit Perry. And if need be, Agendour can also then support.
Yes, my lord.
But we could do with sending a general north, as the Witch King is currently roaming at the moment. But no, we don't want the Witch King to be roaming, do we? We need him to lead that army to give it maximum punch. So that army is going to make it through. So maybe Agendour, you're going to have to deal with Glein. No, I think it is Glein. But for the moment, I think we can end the turn again. This episode also, total again, unrelated to everything we've just said, is likely to be a few minutes shorter, I'm afraid, because I'm hoping to play some games with my friend who I very rarely get to speak to as he's moved away, and playing games is our version of telephone calling. So I'm going to do that, and I need to, so it'll probably be about 5 minutes shorter than normal. Interestingly, Willy and Wally have come, but Del has stayed away. He's waited for Gandalf and Carl to join. Not the Gandalf, of course, Captain Gandalf. What have you... I'm not even interested in what you've got. Your army's pathetic. Like, why have you attacked me? Attack! There we are. Modding behind the scenes goes relatively well. Small tweaks and changes being made to Moria at the moment, because our beta testers have reported that the High Elf campaign plays very similarly to Imladris's, but with a few twerks and differences here and there, of course. But the problem that some people had suggested they were having was that we had essentially buffed the Moria too much, and it was an absolute slog to take Moria down. So we're going to just slightly weaken Moria a touch to amend that. The reinforcing army is the one that's actually a threat, isn't it? And where is that coming from? Directly behind us. So we will use the town to our advantage. Pull our defensive lines are there. Archers, don't run away. Come and stand here, but don't fire at will yet. And then the forces that are going to run through and smash our enemy, you deal with those coming from the city. Unpause. Go on, do run. Did I move you? No, I did not move you. You're coming over there as well. Right, which one are you? I can never remember. I still haven't renamed them. Ah, you are archers. So, you guys come and hit them straight away. There's no need to really stand on ceremony, actually. Get you guys to flank on the side. Beduila, you fill that gap there. And we've got those axe throwing ones. You might as well not, actually. You might as well come over here and throw axes with the main line. We're having enchiladas for dinner. I know you didn't ask, but I thought I'd just let you know. Right, Beduila, Lumberman. Let's just absolutely swamp this enemy. There's the Breland bodyguards. Beduila's arrived. The enemy knows what we're doing. They actually appear to be using their brains for a change. And trying to stop their units getting flanked. As our wargs start to charge. Breland bodyguards, 66 of them stand, 65. And an absolutely pathetic charge from the wargs leaves basically all of them standing.
The battle is very much in our favour. Victory will be ours.
Stupid. Now, lumbermen are armour piercing. So they do have the potential to be a bit of a bane there. But so are the Huskars and the Northguard. So they won't last long. Right, Wargs, I do have a job for you. Because the enemy definitely had siege equipment. Yes, there it is. And siege equipment is just annoying. At least ballistae fire slow enough that they are maybe not the most annoying, but catapults obviously are the worst. But ballistas can still prove to be a bit of a pain, so I would like to get rid of them. Right, Northguard, you're not doing too much over there at the moment. All of you guys can now stop. Feel free to fire at will. If you are in range, yes you are. And you guys, go and shut them down. Right, the Northguard have moved out. There we are, that will end that lot way quicker. We were taking much too long.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
The Breland bodyguards are down to half number. Well, they made it just as the pikes arrived. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, here's a question for you all, because most of you are gamers, of course, and I am interested in hearing what you have to say about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I treated myself this month and purchased the DLCs, or in fact the Season Pass, because it saved you like 20 quid in England, £20. But what, if anyone has actually played the DLC for Odyssey, what do you think of it? And if you, by the time you've won the actual main game, if you're a bit sort of fed up with the gameplay loop, as they call it, are you going to be experiencing anything different in the DLC and then think, oh, actually, no, this is a real shake-up? Or is it just more of the same over and over? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Right, so the enemy here is pretty much defeated. The ballista crew survived, annoyingly. And the AI has a really, really small army here. But look at that. Look how many Rudau warriors have already gone down. Did anything escape back to the town square? No. Alright, so you guys just come and sort of stand here. You're not going to be needed. Journeyman 20 left. I don't know how many of Breland bodyguards remain. The journeymen are going down. Wargs. Oh, you're taking your sweet time. Come on. Oh, we're going to lose so many by the time they get here. They're going to hit now. There we go. Ah, nice. And the last of the ballista crews falls. They can't man the machines with only one person. They need at least 3. Go on, hit those journeymen in the back. See what they do.
Our men have slain the enemy general.
Oh, no way.
Without him, his troops will lose their will to fight.
Captain Wally. He was the journeyman. Oh, and the Breland bodyguards fled. And now our archers are wasting their arrows on them. He says as he just stands and watches them do it. Come on, go inside instead. If they're going to go up to the square, we might as well chase them up there. Also, we can win a bit quicker that way as well, can't we, actually? Ah, bugger, we're out of arrows. We are fully out of arrows, that's disappointing. Right, it's time for a bit more of a noob circle. As we now have nothing really to fear, and we'll just wait till either they beat us, or they attack our line finally, or the timer runs down.
The battle is very much in our favor. Victory will be ours.
Oh, there he is, still alive. Badwila can finish him off. You guys catered there. Where's the siege, actually? I sent an archer to go and get that. Go on, go get this battering ram and we'll take them down. Those guys are moving in.
Our men have slain the enemy general.
Who is fighting
Without
against
him,
you?
his troops will lose.
Oh, routing farmhand pikeman made it through.
Our men are in command of the city.
Get the ram out of there. Show 'em Hillman might.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Oh, there they go. Plug that gap. Do not let the Brelanders through. Oh, we can't attack the gate because we own it. Well, that's always nice to see. Did I change that in the next version? I think I did.
Only half.
Yes, I did. I made it a leaf. It's just a leaf on its own. You'll see it in future versions. All right, this is over, isn't it? Let's just actually try and make it over. I can't imagine that any of those farmhand pikemen survived that. Are those Banderbrass archers literally the only... They are! Oh dear.
Behold how our
Oh, sorry everyone. We could have ended that a long time ago.
Today.
Oh, but Dweela got 117. Well done, sir. 127 for the Iron Crown Warriors. Nice. Now that, using my deep knowledge of the lore, as we've already discussed, sarcasm by the way, is an image of Erebor, particularly the Battle of 5 Armies. And you'll note them all there. Although, is there an elf visible in the screen? I don't think there is. I would submit that this is probably the fall of Thorin, because these dwarves here look markedly different from this fellow and this fellow. And of course, Thorin is famously, as he goes down, his nephews, Philly and Killy, spoiler alert, go down with him. But they kind of rushed. I think he goes down first and then they rush to his bodyguard. Or they all go down at one and it's covered in a single sentence. I can't quite remember.
We have triumphed.
Oh, Perry went for Agendour. Our first bridge battle. Is it? No, I'm sure we fought the dwarves on a bridge battle. Look at all the trash that comes. We'll meet you, Perry. We'll meet you. Here, at the crossings of the Horwell River, we make our stand. I'm afraid I shan't give you any money for guessing correctly what that is an image of, because it's quite obvious. Nice. They get a little bit of a hill, but so do we, Let's not... Don't give them all the credit just yet. We've actually got quite a military-facing army, really. That means nothing. That meant absolutely nothing, Galu. I mean, we have a melee-heavy army. You and... not you. You and the ones we've already selected are all going to want to be the main line. We've got a couple of crappy, trashy hillmen. Our archers are going to just go there and do what they can, really. So it's just going to make sure that everyone's near the front, I suppose. We'll move them in later. Have faith in the Iron Crown. Who are you? You're normal. Get you guys in. And there's Agendour himself. They are going to shoot arrows at us, so I'm quite tempted to sort of pull the forces back, really. I don't really know. Oh dear, I've sped it up accidentally. I was tempted to sort of bring the main force back and then rush them in a moment when the... Let's pause it. Some people don't like pausing it, they think it's cheating. And I suppose to an extent it is, but we all get one. Everybody gets one. Not everyone is placed. You guys go to there then. Cavalry, you're just going to sort of stay out of it. I don't know when we're going to need you. And Agandar, you do the same. If you just pop on top of the hill for now. You guys, I think, are going over there. No, you're standing still. You can go into shield wall though, so go into shield wall with them. 13 of you go and stand a bit further forward. Right, now feel free to go. Now, see, now we are getting shot, but as soon as their melee crosses the river, they won't shoot us. Ah, he says, can they not cross the river? Well, we don't... We can kind of lure them into battle. I don't know. No, I'll tell you what we'll do. As dull as it is, get all of them, group them all together. You can be team one, and then pull everyone out. Like, fully run away from the battle. And then all the ones in shield wall come out of shield wall. Run yourselves up there, except for the 12 of you who are going to be offered up as bait. And let them all target you. You'll probably die. In fact, you already are dying. That's not a problem. There's those ones I want to retrain. I don't really want them to die off. There's 157 of them. They definitely can cross the river, because if we can cross the river, they can cross the river. So they purposefully do not want to at the moment. And as they attacked us, and the time is entirely in our favour, I'm happy to sort of wait until they've run out of arrows, and then just force them to cross the bridge. But then if we keep them moving, then the arrows will be a lot less effective. That's the best we could get. I really don't want to commit to fighting them, though, if we don't have to. Especially if we don't want to cross the bridge if we don't have to. There we are, 2 conscript units down. Look at them celebrating! Pathetic. I don't know what to do. I think I will. Oh, I don't know. No, if we're just going to sit here and do nothing, then I'll cut it, and you can rejoin the action when they do something. Welcome back then. So we're only a few minutes in. I decided I did want to chase them down and get them to actually do something. And in a really interesting twist, they are doing something. They're sending their council master across the river on his own. So that's unprecedented. We don't really want to waste our arrows on him, though. Get the archers out. Make sure the archers don't get caught up in that. Come on, archers.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
They must be crossing the river now. No, they're just going to let their general die. So it shows that they're not bugged. They're just desperate to use their arrows first, I think. I don't know. I did unfortunately lose 10 cavalry men getting Perry to come across the river, but now he's here. Glad he'd take you, friend. I don't want to move in range because they have so many more archers than we do.
Dead for that. We must press our advantage.
And it just won't help us. And then actually, their archers couldn't reach me when I was over here. So if we run over there, did you both go? Oh yeah, here they come. And then shoot this farmhand pikeman. You're out of range of their archers. This must elicit a response, surely. They're not just going to stand there and die. They are not bugged. They can cross this bridge. I can cross it. They can cross it. One of their units already has. But for some reason, they are just not going to bother. They're letting us just shoot them, and their Councilmaster's already dead, so he's definitely not getting away, whatever happens. Part of the reason why I didn't want to just cut it and wait it out is because I'd quite like to end the video right now, but I don't like ending videos halfway through battles, and so I thought if I'm just going to sit here for 5 minutes, I might as well try and do something. Oh, look, we're out of arrows now. But now it's just a real stickler. I'm not going to cross the river if they're not going to cross the river, so that will be where I cut this one. And likely, to be honest, where I'll actually end this episode. So I think I just will. I can't imagine they're going to come across this river. So disappointing and anticlimactic as it is, that is going to be where I end this episode. So thank you very much all for watching. Do vote in the poll down below. Do you want Angmar to continue? Would you rather it was replaced with Dorwinian, or would you rather it was replaced with Isengard? Cast your votes. It'll be the final one. And so this may well be the last 2 Angmar episodes, or it'll continue and nothing will change. It's up to you. The High Elves will kick off next week. Also, allow me to apologise that last week there was no Skyrim video. I was just a little busy last week. And unfortunately, when I'm busy, YouTube is always really one of the first things that takes a loss. Because So, I wasn't able to get Skyrim out. But hopefully I should be able to do one for this weekend. But for now, do be sure to check out the link in the description below for Gamesplanet and get yourself some games slightly cheaper than you would elsewhere, legally and fairly. But until we speak again, dear friends, Navarne den Perimad Melonin, and farewell.